Hello and welcome back to LFC Transfer Room. The Champions League draw has just been completed earlier on today, and Liverpool have got in their group Ajax, Napoli, and Rangers. I'd say on the whole, it's a fairly decent group personally. But today I'm joined by Dan, Neil, and Matty. First of all, Dan, how are you doing today? Great to see you on here.
I'm doing great, man. This is the second time this week that I'm here on the stream, so I'm excited to get going. I'm just happy that we have Neil and we have Matty as well here to discuss, and it's going to be an exciting group stage. So I just cannot wait to get started.
And Neil, how are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thanks, Owen. I think the Champions League draw was a bit of light relief after the last few days and the start to the season. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And Matty, it's been a long day for you, but good to see you here tonight.
Yeah, knackered. These 9 o'clock starts don't do any good for me, telling you. But yeah, good to see the Champions League group. I think it's the perfect draw for me, to be honest.
Yeah, when you look at it, to be fair, Ajax, a team who we got 2020-21 season, so we've seen them fairly recently. Napoli, it feels like we've played them now so many times in the Champions League as of late. I think it was twice in 3 seasons, is it? So yeah, it's pretty mad. And then there's Rangers, who, yeah, it's the first time Liverpool going to meet Rangers in a competitive competition ever, which is just a crazy statement. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I think most Liverpool fans would agree that that's the game they're looking forward to the most. Dan, would you agree with that? Is that the one game that sticks out there?
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, by the way, before we keep going, I just want to say hi to Haler and sorry that we're streaming so late. Things got out of hand. A few things jumped forward and backward, but we're here. And yeah, what was the question again, Owen? Sorry, I got deceived by Haler's comment.
It was about Rangers, and I think they're going to be a great opponent. Do you think the same? And like trip to the Ibrox, it's exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, we have two massive teams. I mean, most of the people in England, I believe, they hate Rangers, because of their background or whatnot. But I mean, you cannot hide the fact that there's a huge club. It's full of passion. Their stadium has a bunch of fans, and it just goes crazy every single time there's, whether it's a Champions League or an Europa League match. We can also not forget that they were the finalists last year. It was them and in Frankfurt, right?
Yep.
The Europa League final. So it's going to be an amazing matchup. But the main thing that I want to see, I know Matty's probably excited to see Ben Davies, but the main thing that I want to see is the comeback of the Ryan Kent. I mean, the Liverpool winger, youngster, full of promise. He's so good. I don't know why he's still at Rangers, even though Steven Gerrard left, but it's going to be an exciting match.
Yeah, for sure. And then you got to remember as well, Virgil van Dijk, he used to play for Celtic. Andy Robertson, boyhood Celtic fan. There's going to be a lot of passion and a lot on the line, to be fair, for them boys, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a new fixture, so I think that that's always something that's exciting, and especially when you've got your former players involved as well, they'll be determined to do well. So it's an exciting fixture, as you say. We played Napoli a few times recently. We played Ajax a couple of years back. So having Rangers, the England v Scotland games are always good. I remember we played Celtic, I think in what was the UEFA Cup, going back a few years, and Steve McManaman scored a worldie at Celtic Park. But the atmosphere was amazing. So yeah, looking forward to it, and I'm sure those players are too.
Yeah, and if you look at the Rangers team, they've got quite a few ex-Premier League players. You can see John Lundstrom, Ryan Kent, who Dan just mentioned before. There's a lot of talent in there. Even Tom Lawrence, who spent last season at Derby, did really well there and has been in and out of the Welsh team. So, Matty, what do you think? Obviously, Ben Davies as well, potentially on the cards. Imagine how crazy that would be to see Ben Davies finally make his Anfield debut, but not for Liverpool.
It'll be mad. It'll be mad to see it. I'm happy with that fixture, to be honest with you. I feel like it's the final boss of booing. To be honest, we always boo the national anthem, so this is the final boss with Rangers, and I can't wait to boo at the top of my lungs at Ibrox. But Ibrox is a stadium with fantastic atmosphere. To be fair, there and Celtic Park's amazing. So it's good for the Reds. Only 4 hours up the road. If they fly, probably half an hour on the plane. It's a good fixture for us, not having to travel. And like Neil said, it's a new fixture because it feels like lately in the Champions League we get so many teams that we've had so many times, like Napoli, for example, and it's just good to see a different side within the Champions League group. And I think it's an easy win for Liverpool. They have got a few good players, and like Dan said, I'm really looking forward to seeing Ryan Kent in the Champions League because I rarely rated him when he was at Liverpool, and he's done really well at Rangers since he went. So it'll be good to see him get us a Champions League season, even if they go out in the groups, getting them first 6 fixtures in the Champions League will do them the world of good.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think going to Ibrox, I think it's an underrated game in my opinion because I think it's going to be really, really hard. But the crowd is going to be unbelievable. It's probably the biggest game there in a number of years. So yeah, the fans are going to be on our backs, and yeah, it's whether the players can deal with that. And then there's Ajax, who we played them 2 years ago. I don't know if any guys remember, but yeah, when we played them at Anfield, obviously behind closed doors, you saw like Nico Williams, Curtis Jones, even Kevin Kelleher starting goal. It's not going to be that inexperienced this time around, or at least you wouldn't have thought, Dan.
I mean, absolutely. It's never easy whenever you have to face Ajax, and especially if Anthony ends up staying at that club. I mean, I believe it's like less than a week before the transfer window ends, and Man United keep pushing for his signing. But I feel like that's a player that can make or break that team. Anthony's just so good. I mean, everybody has seen him aware of what he can do. Obviously, you have other players. I mean, you have, I believe, his dad, Tadic, still there. I mean, it's just full of promises and very great players. So it's never easy to face Ajax. I know they just lost. I believe one of their main defenders was his Kris, something like that as well. But I mean, this is still Ajax. It's never easy with a team like that. The one that is actually worrying me is Napoli, because even though it seems like we had our ups and downs with them in the Champions League, every single time we face them, we cannot hide the fact that it's just such a complicated game. If you guys remember, if it wasn't due to if it wasn't for Alisson, last time we faced them, we would have been out already because Alisson really saved us with that one save that it became a legendary save and whatnot. So I'm actually worried about Napoli.
Yeah, they're two top quality sides, and like Neil, do you think Ajax obviously have lost their manager and Lisandro Martinez to Manchester United? Is it a massive loss for them? Do you think it's going to make a huge difference, or do you still think they'll pose a massive threat to us?
I still think there'll be a decent side. I think Ten Hag did a very good job at Ajax, and he'll obviously be missed. Martinez a key player for them. I think the big one is Anthony, and if he does move, then I think that will hurt them. But even if you go back to the fixture 2 years ago over there, I think we won 1-0. I think we had Adrian in goal. If I remember, he had a mix-up with Joe Gomez. And we weren't playing particularly well at the time, and we still come away with a victory. So I think with all these games, Napoli, I think it will be very, very difficult away. But I think with all these games, it will be about us. And if we apply ourselves properly and we're on form, then I don't fear anyone. We're not at that. We're not there at the moment, but I feel if we're playing as well as we can do, then we would Ajax we will beat Napoli away. I think is the tricky one.
If I remember correctly, I think it was Tagliafico with the own goal that won us that game. And yeah, I think generally speaking, even though it was nowhere near a fantastic season for us that year, I think we still played all right that game. And yeah, look, Napoli at home obviously have lost their main man now at centre half in Kalidou Koulibaly to Chelsea in the Premier League. Do you think that's going to have a huge difference, Matty, to them? Because you've seen it as well when they played against us. Koulibaly's been absolutely just a beast against Mohamed Salah. Like, he's just not allowed him to get past whatsoever. I know Mohamed Salah did sit him down for that famous goal, but it's still a massive miss for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge miss for them. But it probably is the only team I'm a little bit fearful of in the Champions League for the away fixture. I think Liverpool are built to win European Cups with that sort of side that just does well in the European Cup regardless. And we are a very, very, very good cup side because on our day, we literally can't beat anyone. But with Napoli, that stadium, the aggressiveness of the fans and stuff, we've just always struggled over there. So as long as we win the other away games, win our home games, and if you did drop points at Napoli, it's not the end of the world. I think because we've had them that much, not many Liverpool. I mean, we'll probably start our allocation out, but you're not going to get many Liverpool fans wanting to go back because it's rough, it's fearful there, stuff like that. It's the two fixtures with Ajax and Rangers are the big ones, really, and roll on the invasion of Amsterdam. I can't wait.
Dan, I'll ask you, how much have you seen of Herving Lozano, the Mexican? From what I've seen, he looks like a really, really good player on the right-hand side. But have you seen him play much?
I mean, absolutely. He struggled in the first few. I mean, we're pretty sure we all aware that he struggled in the first few seasons that he was at Napoli. But it seems like Gattuso finally – Gattuso's the manager, right, of Napoli still? Let me look it up. But he finally managed to get –
Spalletti.
It's Spalletti.
Now. Yeah.
Spalletti managed to get the best out of him. I was checking. There's still a few of controversy in the Mexican national team because they have tons of forwards going on in the forward line, and Herving Lozano hasn't had the best season for the Mexican national team. But there's tons of fans they still want to see him because they know how good he is, and even though it looks like the team sheet for the World Cup hasn't been released for the Mexican national team, it seems like he will be there. I mean, he's just such a powerful player, explosive, fast. They also have Victor Osimhen, as a striker. And then that right side with Di Lorenzo as well. I mean, it's just such a dangerous side, the Napoli side that we're facing. I feel like Liverpool are currently struggling with those fast-paced, powerful wingers, forwards, midfielders, whatever it is. So I think it's going to depend mainly on our fitness and how many starting players we're going to have on the field. If we have, I definitely think Henderson should be there, even though there's been a lot of issues going on with Henderson and Milner. But if we have Henderson, maybe Thiago and Fabinho in that midfield, Virgil and Konate or Matip at the back, we should be fine. Otherwise, I feel like we will struggle against them. It's going to be a tough battle.
Is Sarri there, manager?
That's what we were discussing. I think you guys said Spalletti, right?
Yeah, Luciano
Spalletti. I mean, they sacked so many guys.
Yeah, they go through
Another really good talent for them is at right back in Giovanni Di Lorenzo, who he had a really, really good performance at the Euros, if you remember, for Italy. And yeah, he's just like a fantastic player around. And he's 29 now, and it feels like he's been around now for a very, very long time. Neil, have you seen much of him play? And if so, what do you make of him?
Only bits in Serie A, but he was a standout during the Euros. I think did he get injured at one point and then he missed a couple of the games at the Euros. But
was it like in the semi-final? He got like a pretty bad injury,
something like that. Yeah, but he was a standout one of the standout players for Italy. Him
and Locatelli, I believe it was. It was the main man, the main guys,
and Chiesa as well. Yeah, so yeah, he's a very good player. Be an interesting battle with him and Luis Diaz if he's on form. But they've also got a young Georgian, and I don't think I can pronounce his name, but he's started this season really, really well. I think he's got 3 goals in 2 games. 21-year-old, whose nickname is.
Is it that one?
Which one?
Is it that one? The one in the comments. Kivcha.
Yeah.
Karashile. I don't know how to say it, but supposedly he's Georgian, huh?
Yeah. So I think he's been out. So they've scored 9 goals in their opening 2 Serie A games. And he's apparently been very, very impressive. So it's another one to watch. I think Osimhen's a fantastic player. Physical, he would have been someone that I wouldn't have minded us looking at, to be honest. I think he could cause real problems. So yeah, Di Lorenzo, the new guy, Lozano, Osimhen, they've got weapons in their armory to cause us problems.
We also have to mention, Haller is mentioning a couple of good options right here. You cannot forget about Fabian Ruiz, who supposedly is very close to moving to PSG, but there's still nothing. I've seen a lot of reports saying that the deal is already done, but I don't know. And then he also mentions Ndombele, who just went on loan, I believe it is, to Napoli.
And he scored an absolute worldie last night. So if you haven't seen it, it's well worth a look. Very good goal. So he's a talent, but it never really worked for him at Tottenham. I think work rate may be a bit of an issue, but when he's on form, he's a very creative player and a difficult one to stop as well.
Oh, we need Curtis Jones, but he's injured at the minute. But if he is back, Matty, I know you absolutely love that comment because you were Curtis Jones' #1 fan.
Yeah, but it's right, to be fair. Curtis Jones in them games, a lot of people like get frustrated with Curtis Jones because it was hold-up play, but in them games, you like see Napoli's and stuff, Curtis will literally get the ball and hold it until there's a better option and then release it. So he's fantastic in them games. Most of the Curtis Jones' best games in the Liverpool shirt have been in this competition. So I think he's an improvement on what's already fit in the midfield anyway. If we get Napoli in match week 1 on the 6th of September, I'm a lot more worried than if we got Napoli in, say, match week 4 or 5, because Napoli's midfield's very good. The whole side's very good. That's the game where ideally you want like a Rangers or an Ajax while our midfield is coming back. But Jones would be fantastic in that fixture. But I agree with Dan. As much as Henderson shouldn't be starting, for me, I agree that the best midfield for Napoli is Thiago, Henderson, Fabinho, just for more having that continuity really and having the experienced heads, because when you go to Napoli away, you need your experienced heads in that game because it's so difficult.
And you look at the group, it's a tough group, well, fairly tough I'd say, but surely you'd still be expecting Liverpool to come out on top.
Yeah, without a doubt.
The situation that we're going through right now. So was it for me or for Neil?
Yeah, for you, Dan. Sorry, you cut out there a bit.
Oh, no worries. Let me know if my signal for some reason cuts out. But I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm the less confident of you three guys. If you ask Neil or Matty, I mean, maybe what's their take on this? But after what I've seen on the Premier League, after the injuries that I've seen, I just don't feel so confident. I could see us struggling to get into that second place position, but I don't know, man. I just don't feel very confident on this one. I just don't. But second place, hopefully, that's my take.
Wait, so who do you think is going to finish top then? Napoli?
I do believe it's either Napoli. I mean, it's because the only reason that I'm so worried is because Rangers are the finalists from last year. And, I mean, not many people thought that Rangers were going to go this far. But, I mean, the passion that this team just carries when they're playing European football. They're still playing with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst as their manager. So they haven't changed systems much. They still have most of their players, Travenier, Barisic, Kamara, and then all these guys. I can see us getting a draw against them, which is my worry. And I can see us losing against Napoli because we've done it before. And I can see us struggling against Ajax. I mean, I don't know. With this injuries, with the situation that we're on so early on the season, it's just make, and then we're not getting any midfielders too. I'm just worried what's yet to come. So I just feel like a Napoli Liverpool or a Napoli Rangers. I don't have too much confidence for Ajax, sadly, but that's really what I think.
Yeah, I can understand your point there because the way we've been playing recently, it doesn't fill you with much confidence at all. Nia, when you look at it though, obviously it's done in like pot 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we've done all right there getting Ajax as our pot 1 team because you look at it and we could have got Bayern Munich, we could have got Real Madrid. So you have to say we kind of done all right there in fairness.
Yeah, I actually think Napoli will be stronger than Ajax, if I'm honest. So I think we probably did all right out of pot 1 and then got a difficult team out of pot 3. So I actually think Liverpool will win the group. I don't think it'll be with 6 wins like it was last season. And I think Napoli will be second, and then I think Rangers may have a chance of coming third. I'm writing Ajax off a little bit, maybe because of the the losses that they've had over the past few weeks and with Ten Hag going. So I don't think it'll be as convincing, but I do think we'll still win the group.
Do you agree, Matty?
Yeah, I think we'll win the group with 5 wins and a draw, to be honest. I think we're just far more superior. Although we've been poor in the Premier League. Liverpool, how many times have Liverpool been poor in the Premier League and them done well in the Champions League? In 2005, we didn't even get top 4 and won the Champions League with Jimmy Traore in the team. Do you know what I mean? Like, Liverpool in Europe is a different breed. It's just a complete and utter different breed. And Anfield on European nights, every single one of them teams in that group will be dreading that away fixture at Anfield. Not one of them will be looking forward and reveling in it. It's such a difficult ground. And the atmosphere in like Ibrox and Napoli does worry me, but it's not in that these players haven't played under before, to be fair. And I think we'll get through the group comfortably. It's a better group than some of the Premier League sides. I do think that. I think it's been quite kind to us. And Ajax, maybe 12 months ago, I'd be a bit more fearful of them, but they've been ransacked this summer. If they lose Anthony as well, they've literally got no one. And Ajax always do that. They have the cycles where they have a few good years, insane players, sell them all, and it's all kids again the next year. They've got a new manager. We don't know how they're going to play, new approach. So I think Liverpool do well against them. I think we're far more superior to Rangers, although their atmosphere is very good and they do play very well in Scotland. I honestly believe Rangers and Celtic would be a mid to bottom table Premier League side if we merged leagues and stuff, because as good as the history in the club is, the fan base, the calibre from Scottish football to the Premier League is astronomical.
And we'll move on now to the other groups in the Champions League. And you are kind of just forced to look at Group C with Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan and Plzen. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yeah, it's been all over social media, really, how tough that group is. Bayern Munich goes without saying. They've got Sadio Mane now. Barcelona have been going absolutely crazy in the transfer window, signing practically everyone, if we're being totally honest. And then Inter Milan, another quality side. You saw last year in the Champions League against Liverpool, they didn't give them an easy game whatsoever. So, Dan, you feel bad for Plzen in that team, in that group, don't you? Because finding a way out of it is just going to be borderline impossible for them.
Absolutely. I mean, you do feel bad, but one thing that does make me happy is that unlike other years, there's a few groups of death that they're going around. I mean, when you look at the different draws, you have Group D. I'm actually looking at it right now. You have Group D. We have Frankfurt, Tottenham. They have Sporting and Marseille. They also have Group C, which we already spoke about, obviously. Bayern, Barcelona, Inter. There's just so many. And even Group E, they have Milan, Chelsea, and they have Salzburg, who are never easy to play. I mean, we play against Salzburg. They're such a strong side. I mean, there are just so many options. And there's, I think, was it Neil or Matty, before we went live, you guys mentioned the Group H, which is PSG, Juventus, and Benfica. It's just going to be such an entertaining side. Obviously, it's always sad to see the smaller teams just getting knocked out. There's no way they can make it out of it. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I'm excited for once that I'm going to be watching so many matches in the group stage section in the Champions League. I'm going to have 2 TVs, 3 TVs going all over the place.
You look at Group B as well. You've got Porto, Atletico, Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. They're all like fairly. None of them are you call it like elite sides, but they're all very decent sides at the similar sort of level. So that would be a really, really entertaining group. But Neil, which group out of all of them would you kind of pick out and say you have to be watching that one?
I think it has to be. I think is it Group C with Bayern, Barca, and Inter Milan. So I think Bayern will probably be fine. They tend to come through the group stages relatively unscathed normally, and I don't see that changing. And I think Barcelona is a really interesting one because Xavi's obviously got his ideas. He's got some fantastic players. He's bought some good players. So I can see Barca and Bayern qualifying, and then Inter maybe finishing third. But Lukaku's back, so they've got him and Martinez. We didn't see the best of Inter when we played them last year. I think they missed Barella for the 2 games. That made a big difference. But yeah, I think that's the interesting group for me.
And Matty, you look at Group G when Man City, Seville, Dortmund, and Copenhagen. Dortmund against Man City, you're going to be seeing Haaland against his old side. You're going to be seeing Jude Bellingham at the Etihad Stadium. That's going to be a really, really entertaining game, isn't it?
I think City have got, I'm not saying they won't get out the group because they will, but I think City out the Premier League have got the toughest of the groups, to be honest with you. Dortmund's a hard game. Sevilla, they're a horrible team to go and play, as we know. And Copenhagen as well is not an easy team. There's quite a few interesting groups, to be honest. And I even think that one with Barcelona and Bayern Munich could throw a shock up where you might see Inter and Barca or Bayern go through and one of the big teams go out, to be fair. And that's what you like about the Champions League. Big teams can go all the time. And there's some very, very, very interesting groups in there. But I think the City one's interesting, and Haaland going back there, Bellingham in playing against them as well. But I think Dortmund could do City, but it looks as though City have more set up for the Champions League this year. With Pep coming out saying once the games are every 3 days, you won't really see Haaland in the Prem. They're going to use Alvarez and keep Haaland for the Champions League. City are going all out for this Champions League this year. And in response to Kempechi's comments, this same Liverpool side did get to the Champions League final last year. Everyone's saying we've got no chance because of our injury-prone midfield. We was injury-prone last year as well and got to the final. I think if Liverpool are going to do anything out the Premier League and Champions League this year, the Champions League is the one that's more realistic or just more suited to a Champions League competition. We've been to 3 Champions League finals in 5 years. Never write this side off.
100%. And you even look at Group F, look, it's everywhere you look, it's just fantastic games of football. Group F with Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar and Celtic. We talked about a fellow Scottish side in Rangers, Celtic against Real Madrid. That's going to be an absolutely huge one. I just look at it, Dan. It's going to be just, you think of the game at Celtic especially, similar to Rangers as well. It's just going to be like a massive turnout and some of the biggest games seen in years probably.
Absolutely. I mean, I think just like Matty or Neil were saying, there's certain teams that just perform differently in the Champions League setup. I believe these are one of those, whether it's Rangers, whether it's Celtic, whether it's Liverpool. I mean, dare I say, maybe even Ajax as well. I mean, as soon as you put these type of teams in the Champions League, a competition that they're historic for, they're known to be historic for, they just transform into different beasts. So it's just going to be very exciting. It's going to be an awesome thing to watch. And in fact, this is going to be probably the first time and obviously I'm shifting towards a different topic, but I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Who's going to be the winner this time? But for me, this time is going to be the first time where we could potentially see PSG or Man City actually getting away with the title. It's I don't see any other big sides mainly being able to stop them, and Man City have managed to get most of their positions filled out. Haaland, just to say the least, the left back, Gomez, I think is his name, or something, Sergio Gomez, something like that. PSG is just buying everybody at this point. They're about to close the deal on Fabian Ruiz, Skriniar. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, this could be the year that we finally see the oil money teams win the Champions League. What do you guys think is going to win it?
I agree. I think Man City are going to win it this year.
No.
I know people are like that here, but I think it's only a matter of time. The rate they're spending the money, unfortunately, I do think this could be their year. Neil, do you agree with me there?
It could be. They should have made it last year to the final at least, shouldn't they? I don't think PSG, because I think there's too many issues. I know that on their day they can take anyone apart. They took Lille apart at the weekend, but there's all sorts of fallouts and everything going on there. So out of the two, I would pick Manchester City, but I'd like to see a fully fit Liverpool squad and have another go, because I think Anfield has is such a difference maker on European nights that if we can get back to some sort of form, I think will be a match for anybody.
Matty, I'll ask you, apart from Liverpool, who's going to win the Champions League this season?
Very well worded. I don't think it will be City or PSG. If it wasn't us, I think it could maybe be someone like your Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Or everyone wrote them off last year. They've went about the business again this year. They've added in Tchouaméni into an already phenomenal midfield. I think he's a massive upgrade on Casemiro with age on his side and stuff. And I think Real Madrid have got a chance. It wouldn't surprise me if it's Liverpool Real Madrid in the final again, to be honest with you. I think with Manchester City, they do so well, but when they come up against a side that's built for the Champions League, like we seen last year with Real Madrid, They just can't contain her over two legs. If Liverpool get Manchester City over two legs, we knock them out. So does Real Madrid, and so does Bayern Munich. I think they're the three sides who would do City, because they're just built for the Champions League. They know how to get through them fixtures, and City just still haven't managed to do that yet. If City get to the final and they play someone like Liverpool and that, then yeah, they maybe could win it, because on the day Manchester City can beat anyone. But I honestly can't see nothing past Liverpool winning the Champions League this year. I've just got this this feeling. I remember after we lost in Kiev, this is when the channel started, and one of my first videos, I was saying how we were going to get the final again and win it, and everyone's like, nah, no chance, and we did. So I do think that Liverpool have got a very, very, very good chance. Yeah, we've got an injury-ridden squad, but I think we've got a very good chance at the Champions League this year. And if it's not us, I think Real Madrid are untouchable. You've got Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Benzema in the form of his life. They've just added Tchouaméni. Camavinga's already had a season under his belt. Modric and Cruz. That team's unbelievable. They're in their next era, Galacticos. And I think Real Madrid will like last season, quietly go about the business, and then everyone will be like, oh my God, Real Madrid come the end of the competition.
You're making me believe they're a Liverpool final at Istanbul once again. But Dan asked you,
it's got to be us. It's at the LFCTR.
Written in the stars. Dan asked you to end the stream. Who do you think is going to win it this year?
Oh man, I mean, my heart says Liverpool, obviously, but I need to see improvement with the fitness. I just seeing Milner and Henderson and Elliott in the midfield, and maybe a front line of Firmino, Diaz, and Salah, while also seeing a partnership at the back of Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. It just doesn't get me confident at all. If there's an improvement with the fitness side of things, and we get Jota and Thiago back, I will say I could definitely see Liverpool winning it. Mainly because it looks like the Premier League is not going to be up for grabs this time around. I mean, we got already 2 draws, one in the first 2 games, 1 loss in the as well. So if we get back most of our players, I think we're going to win it. If not, I'm going to say it already. I think it's going to be PSG. Messi's already accustomed. Mbappe is raging, going crazy. Neymar, if he stays, I mean, he needs to make his mark before either he leaves or his whole career goes down. But I think it's going to be PSG. There's nothing stopping them at this point. They already have so many chances to win it. They added so much quality. And I just think Pep Guardiola is going to flop again. I mean, he's had so many chances with money, players. He has it all. I mean, I just don't think the competition is meant for him.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be a long season. Thanks for joining us tonight. I know we're on a bit late, but make sure you do like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay. But yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for joining. Good night.